Good morning, everyone, and lovely to be here and lovely to listen to everyone who's spoken before and looking forward to listening to others. My name is Anand Varadaraj, and you'll be wondering what a film festival curator is talking about moving images that's changed the world. So if I'm talking about moving images, I need to probably tell a little bit about myself because I meet a lot of young filmmakers. I'm sure some of you here are content creators. My idea is to talk to them and see how their idea can actually make a change. And to start this conversation, or talk, not a conversation, I would like to, how can a filmmaker or a producer start a talk without showing some images to you? So let me start with playing you an old video. You might be wondering, what is this? It's a black and white film. There's no Charlie Chaplin. There's no comedy. There's a train coming in, a lot of people are getting down, and there's nothing happening there. Why am I showing this film to you? The idea of showing you this film is, this is the first ever recorded film in history. And this was called The Arrival of the Train. And, sorry, my clicker is going too fast there. So The Arrival of the Train was directed by Lumiere brothers in 1895. And when they screened this for the first time in a basement in Paris, a lot of people started getting scared. They jumped out of their seats. They thought the real train is coming onto them. And they ran away. I'm not joking. Because today, for you to watch a train is nothing great. But at that moment of time, it was history recreating itself through images. And it was a very, very important idea of that time. And what happened is, what made this actually movie revolutionary is not the content. It was the experience. Because people sitting there started looking at something which was frozen in time, replayed, and showing it to them. For the first time, human beings could see history itself. Sorry, this is going already into the future. Human beings could see themselves time preserved. They could relive motion, emotion, atmosphere beyond the moment it happened. This tiny film cracked open an entirely new way of how history can be recorded, stories can be told, and how images is no longer an immersive experience, and it became truly inclusive. This invention was considered a fad at that point of time, but it reshaped how humans can tell stories in a very, very new way. The Arrival of the Train, it was humanity boarding a new journey and the journey of cinema. Now let's fast forward to something in 2005. And now what you see, let me also play this.
Cool thing about these guys is that they have really, really, really long fronts, and that's cool. And that's pretty much all there is to say.
Now again, you'll be wondering, what is this boring clip, right? This is Javed Karim, and this was the first video to be uploaded on YouTube. And the interesting thing is, with this, there was a new kind of storytelling which came into being. He's standing in front of some elephants in the San Diego Zoo, telling, and his comment was, elephants have long, long trunks. And the title of this movie was Me at the Zoo. What an inventive idea. This video was grainy and 18 seconds long, but this tiny clip which gave birth to YouTube, a platform would completely transform the very humans communicate, how we tell stories. The democratic shift of video to television to internet became accessible to me, you, and everyone else. The platform moved from storytelling from hands of a few to everybody in life. And today we see so many different social media talking about stories. Now let's go back to some movies. I'm taking you back to 1942. Before that I want to give a little bit data, because we all live in the world of data and statistics. In 2006, 65,000 videos were uploaded daily on YouTube. Today, it's 20 million. It's crazy. I think 500 plus hours are uploaded every minute on YouTube. And all of us are part of it. So let's move on to the next one. I want to take you back to 1942. Not the Hindi film, but a movie called Bambi, which was produced and directed by Walt Disney. Bambi, when it was produced, everybody thought, it's a nice animation about animals in a forest, and it's a young deer going around meeting friends. But what happened when they showed Bambi was, there was a scene, I'm going to reveal the plot for people who have not seen it. There's a shot where Bambi's mother is killed by a hunter. What changed is, that single moment seeded the idea of something called Bambi effect. So this film, which when survey was taken in 2010 by the Wildlife Service Association, found 60% of Americans credited films like Bambi for shaping their early views on hunting and animal preservation. See how a small film created so long ago, an animation, can change the minds. The impact was so impactful that it was voiced in protest. It was voiced in policies. Animal rights organization named Bambi as the film which you have to think about before doing anything on wildlife. And the Humane Society reported notable rise in public opposition for hunting deer in suburban areas in 1980s and 1990s, linking it partly for the generational emotion formed by Bambi. Bambi forever changed the human-animal relationship. Let's move to India. I'm sure many of you have seen this film. Pink, which was cast had Amitabh Bachchan, had Taapsee Pannu. And of course, this was not just a courtroom drama. This was a social statement. This film revolved about three women, about accusing of immorality and assault, and how the central message was very, very crystal clear. No means no. I think in the society where victim shaming was often silenced women, Pink forced a national conversation at that time, talking about consent, autonomy, and gender bias. According to Google Trends, when this film was released, over 150% of searches were on consent. People did not understand what was consent at that point of time. Today, it might be a common topic, but that time, this was the most trending topic in India. And nearly 65% of urban youth had discussed issues on consent and women's safety with peers and family. This started a huge sparkling dialogue within people, especially among the youth. Actually, the Delhi Commissioner of Women publicly endorsed Pink as an educational tool and started screening this across different colleges at that time. It gave voice to countless women experiences by holding mirror to patriarchy. Pink was not just an entertainer. It was a catalyst. It made one idea unforgettable, saying consent is not negotiable. We'll come to one of, I think, a lot of people's favorite film. If you have not seen this film, please go and watch it today. I'm sure a lot of people would have put a song from this on your Mother's Day as your status. So, how Tare Zameen Par, which was released in 2007, talks about a young student called Ishan. The movie was directed by, of course, Amir Khan. The child with dyslexia confronted Indian society with uncomfortable truths, parenting, and childhood pressure. See, these were the days when most of you are parents here, and I can see a lot of old adults who all our education life was about marks, rank, where do you stand, and if you're not in the top of the first three, you are like actually looked down upon. It was considering how good you are. But this film changed that narrative. This film for decades, it actually questioned the academic success in India, which was measured by ranks and marks, and children struggling with learning disabilities were often branded as lazy and slow. And this film, when it came out, started a huge debate on how tough is the Indian education system. And this, after the release, a lot of NGOs started getting a lot of calls on child development and how important it is. They started changing what should the child learn actually. And in 2010, Maharashtra government announced a policy guidelines on inclusive education, directly citing this film's influence. So these films have made people to think about how to change the way they look at it. And I would love to say this, Tare Zameen Par did not just win awards. It shifted mindsets. It reminded India that every child is not a student, but a star in the making. So there are so many films like this which actually change the way we think and change the way how it is told. And I love to talk to young filmmakers who are having an idea and change the way the India and world looks at it. Before I end, I would like to share a small quote. We are talking about visible and possible. We observe that what is visible and strive to create what is possible. But a good filmmaker is someone who makes it possible to reveal even the invisible. So thank you very much for your time.